Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lyndsey Akers, and I am AFA's Senior Consultant for our United Forces and Families program, and I am so honored and excited to be welcomed this morning by two incredible forces and figures in our military spouse community. I'm joined by Shaun Beal and Aimee Selix, and I would love for you two to introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing today, and how we're building community for the generations that follow us. Shaun?
Good morning. My name is Shaun. I'm blessed to be here in the greater District of Columbia.
You're a local.
I am a local here at JBAB. I've been here for a year, have 2 more years in the process. In the process of building communities, it's about taking care of everybody on the ground at the very grassroots level of one person at a time and allowing that to become a ripple of life moving forward.
Incredible. Aimee?
I'm not sure I can answer that any better. My name is Aimee Selix, and I am a proud Space Force spouse. And, building community is something that is very important to me because there have been several times in our time in that I felt lonely and isolated, and I don't want other spouses to feel that way, and there's no reason why anybody should feel that way because we're all going through the same thing.
Yes, and I think what's so beautiful about this conversation is that we are military spouses as we are partnered with our spouses, but we are leaders in our community. And, Shaun, I did not expect this to be part of our conversation, but a few minutes ago before we started our session here, Shaun brought me this precious little lighthouse and sent me a picture. But Shaun, I imagine you are building community in very unique ways, and I would love for you to tell us about the lighthouse, what it means to you, and how it serves as a beacon for other military spouses.
Thank you. So Project Lighthouse to me is a situation that actually started years ago in that component of how do we share that in a death of a family member, in the process of stresses, that our families are still being taken care of. A lighthouse is a universal, no matter the branch that we're in, just shows the beacon of light shining bright across the nation. All of us are lighthouses. We may not understand it, we may not feel it or the component, but the way that we've made impact for others, we've been able to provide the simplest component of making sure that there's a warm place in a big storm.
And making sure others feel seen. I think that's what we do best. We get to see each other in places like this where there's a lot of uniforms, a lot of acronyms. But this year, AFA is hosting its first Military Spouse Link Up Lounge, which is very special and also lends to the fact that we can bring others alongside us in communities where they may not feel the most comfortable in these environments or they've never been before. So I love that we're kind of wrapping our arms around people wherever we are. Shaun, I honestly thought this was going to be a cupcake because I know you're known for that as well. I will settle for the lighthouse. And Aimee, you have been such an integral part of the Space Force Candid Conversations, which are now the QX Conversations, which is really fostering this cross-branch dialogue. It extends beyond a base. It extends beyond a service branch. So I would love to learn a little bit more about that and tell everyone how they can follow that.
Oh, thank you so much. So we started Candid Conversations 2 years ago, and we recently partnered with Five and Thrive and rebranded to QX Convos to follow under their QX model. And we're really excited about this because this allows us now not to just reach out to Space Force spouses, but to reach across all service branches. Our spouses are our most invaluable resource, right? And so being able to bring them together to share their, experiences. I mean, the Navy might not have something that the Air Force has, and we can talk about those. And it's so important just to kind of break down those silos. And, we have a lot of shared challenges, but we need to be sharing our wisdom. And so that's what QX Convos is doing, and we're really excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I love that you all have cultivated that. And it's on YouTube. Is it on the podcast stations as well?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But I mean, the sky, well, here, I'll say, the Air Force says sky's the limit, but Space Force says there is no limit. If my husband heard me say that, he would laugh. But that's how I feel about Candid Conversations and QX Convos, right? There is no limit to the impact that it can have within our communities.
Yeah, I think that's a really beautiful initiative. And one of the things that I think is really impactful, a lot of times people see familiar faces on stages like this, whether it's me or you guys or people that we've always looked up to for a long time. And there are spouses who want to get involved from a leadership level or a community level, and be impactful wherever they are. So I'm curious if you guys have any advice for spouses who want to be more involved in either advocacy or community building or just simply helping our community be stronger together. So what advice would you give to military spouses, Shaun?
Trust in yourself. Being involved for your niche. As you made references, cupcakes is one of the things I'm also known for. I've always been a person that feels that you should never have to make your own birthday cup or cake. So we've used cupcakes as a manner to be able to reach out to others, be able to provide an opportunity. I actually make everything intentionally imperfect because I want those that see them to be able to say, I can do it better.
Did you say intentionally imperfect?
Exactly.
I love that. It's like the Bob Ross happy accidents.
One of the things you probably haven't seen is I actually made baby blankets also.
Multifaceted.
That's all the story goes back to the process of how I always was when I wouldn't go to sleep without being able to find that little niche. So all of those scenes are intentionally wonky, and then it drives my mom crazy. But that also is that process. Is I want somebody else to be inspired to say, I can do that, and I want to because I feel it's important that we'd be able to up that bar.
Perfectly said, or imperfectly said, if you want to say that.
Truly.
Aimee, what advice would you give to someone who just simply wants to be more involved in and connected to what's happening in our community?
My advice would actually be to all spouses, whether they want to get involved or not. It's to invest in their time in the service. You know, it's not just about their my husband or their members' careers, right? It's their life too, and invest in that. And you'll find that the more invested you are, the more people you'll meet, and you'll find where you fall into place. You'll find your tighter community, and you'll find where you can be most helpful, and you'll find your purpose.
Yes, being able to make an impact either where your feet are in that present environment or on a larger scale, trusting yourself, surrounding yourself with the right people, and knowing that you're a part of that story too is such a critical piece to this entire fabric of our community. So I want to thank you both for just being who you are, for joining this particular session today, and being here and being a voice and representation for our community. I appreciate you both so much.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Lyndsey.
Aimee, thank you so much for all you do. And as always, it's a team effort all the way through.
Team effort. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.